Today I'm going to rank the top 10 best free agent signings of 2026. At 10th place, I actually have a tie between the two quarterbacks, Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa. The reason I have Kyler Murray and Tua at 10th is because of the value, right? Both of these quarterbacks, Kyler to the Vikings and Tua to the Falcons, got signed on veteran minimum deals, $1.3 million for 1 year. They both are coming from contracts where they were some of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And yes, the performance over the last season wasn't great. Kyler obviously got injured. Tua didn't have his best year. But for $1.3 million, you're not going to find better value. Even think about it, Justin Fields last year from the Jets, he got 2 years, 20. So to get a quarterback of Tua and Kyler's value at $1.3 million, that's less than some backups are getting paid. Less than most backups are getting paid. So these guys are getting backup quarterback money to be starters in this league. And yeah, who knows if they're going to turn out to be back to their primes. And so for both of them, the downside overall of Tua and Kyler isn't much, right? They fail, you lose $1.3 million. The Vikings don't have a QB anyways, and the Falcons have Michael Penix who's injured. So really, this is all upside, no risk. At 9, this might surprise some people, Malik Willis. He got 3 years, $67.5 million. And I know everyone's thinking, well, 20 whatever million from Malik Willis, that might be an overpay. He had 2 great games for the Packers last year. And if you watch those 2 games, he looked like a star. And I don't know if he's going to be a star on the Dolphins, especially with the weapons they have. Losing Tyreek and that O-line is not overall good. But they do have HN and they do have Waddle. If he even could be a fraction, 50, 75% of what he did there in the Packers 2 games, where he had one of the highest passer ratings of the whole season last year, then they're getting their money's worth. $20 million a year. Usually high-end quarterbacks, mid-tier quarterbacks get $40, $50 million. So Malik Willis's deal has the ability to honestly be one of the best if he can even perform close to what he did last year. And I would put my bets on Malik Willis. I liked what he did. Okay, 8th, we're going to go with Tyler Biadasz. 3 years, $30 million to play center for the Chargers. A lot of the problems with the Chargers last year came because of injuries, right? Losing Slater and losing Alt. With Biadasz, even if you have injuries to the O-line, you have a center who is kind of the heart of the O-line, right? The center is the one who's helping with protections and who's mostly the leader of that O-line. So now you have Tyler Biadasz, and a lot of the times with the Chargers, I'll say it again, is if they stay healthy, if that offense stays healthy, they're going to be a top 5 offense. The overall unit with McDaniels as the OC, it's going to be top 5 if they stay healthy, right? So that's kind of the thing with the Chargers, but I like this Tyler Biadasz signing, and I like having a good center with your already 2 good tackles and to pull together this overall unit. And they just need to stay healthy now. They'll be a top 5 offense. 7th, I have Javon Hargrave. 2 years, $23 million for the Packers. I really like this deal for the Packers to pull together an overall defensive unit. Right, they lost Kenny Clark in that trade for Micah Parsons, so they need a DT in the middle. And I think Javon Hargrave's a solid player, a vet. They got a good value, 2 years, $23 million, $11.5 million a year. So I think Javon Hargrave does a great job pulling this unit together, especially the front 7. He's a good vet, good buy low. I like it. Okay, 6, we're going to have Kevin Byard with the Patriots. 1 year, $9 million. I think this is a really good deal for the Patriots. They get a safety who has led the league in interceptions, who has many interceptions over his career. He's a vet, will pull together that overall unit alongside Christian Gonzalez. And for $9 million at that price, I just feel like it's a really good value for what they're getting. And I don't see where the negatives are with this deal. Okay, 5th, Kenneth Walker. This is one that, I was contemplating just because Kenneth Walker is a good running back. But they are paying a premium price, the Chiefs. However, coming off a Super Bowl MVP in his best year, where he didn't get injured and he was healthy the whole year, this is kind of an elite signing for the Chiefs because they need a running back. The reason they need a running back is not just to have an elite run game, but Patrick Mahomes deep ball has been deteriorating, and that is mainly because there's no play action with the Chiefs. There's no ability for the Chiefs to bring in the front seven and bring in the DBs of the defense with the run game and allow Patrick Mahomes to go over the top, because everyone's expecting Patrick Mahomes to go over the top. If any other team signed Kenneth Walker to this deal, I would probably not put it in the top 10. But with the Chiefs signing Kenneth Walker, I think the ability to propel their offense back to that dynasty era and back towards what they used to be is really high. And this is just going to overall give their offense another punch. You know, I as a Broncos fan, I'm a little wary of the Chiefs, a little nervous, but we'll see. Fourth, Mike Evans. A lot of people are going to argue Mike Evans, he's injury prone or he's old, but I think this is just all some made up drama, because Mike Evans was coming off the most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons ever, tied with Jerry Rice. This was his only year getting injured. And yeah, he didn't look the same after injury, but that's probably because he rushed back. The Bucs were trying to make the playoffs. But Kyle Shanahan is going to know how to use Mike Evans. And Mike Evans, I could see something similar to how Devonta Adams came to the Rams, red zone target, lots of touchdowns. And he's only been injured 1 year in his career. He's going to have the hunger and that desire to be healthy and to prove everyone wrong, because for some reason people are doubting Mike Evans. I don't see why this isn't a top 2 signing. I like it. It's overall for the value as well. You see some other young receivers getting paid more or the same as Mike Evans, when Mike Evans has proven over time that he can produce. Number 3, Elgton Jenkins with the Cleveland Browns. Elgton Jenkins is overall a very versatile player, can play center, can play offensive guard. I like him for the Browns because the Browns O-line has struggled. They give up a lot of sacks. And that's due to some quarterback play, but also due to the overall O-line. I think Elgton Jenkins is going to pull together this unit very well. We'll see if he plays center or guard. He's an elite pass blocker. And yeah, he has some injury concerns, but for the value they're getting $12 million a year, I think Elgton Jenkins gives this Brown O-line a chance to compete. And if that offense can even, be above average or average, the Browns might actually win a decent amount of games this year, because we know they have that elite defense. Number 2, Bryan Cook, Bengals, safety. I really like the signing for the Bengals because Bryan Cook with the Chiefs last year proved that he's an elite safety. And I know a lot of people are going to say Steve Spagnuolo's defense is the Chiefs' defense. They have these elite DBs. But Bryan Cook, overall, in the run game and the pass game, was very good. And, you could argue he's a top 5, top 10 safety. For the price they got, $13 million a year, especially with the Bengals defense, that was probably one of the worst defense I've ever watched, besides maybe the Cowboys last year, but they were a pretty bad defense last year. This is just going to give them another DB, another leader in the room, who's been on a winning team, who's won Super Bowls, who's been with the Chiefs, and the Bengals, hopefully, will have a better defense than last year. And number 1, Trent McDuffie. I see this as a win for the Rams. Not to say the Chiefs lost the trade, but the Rams know their weakness. The Rams have an elite offense. They know that defensively is why they lost to the Seahawks. They know they need better DBs. And they went out and got one. They went out and got an All-Pro. 1 game away from making the Super Bowl. They add a top 5 corner and bring back pretty much the same exact team. Yeah, it's an elite signing. It just is. Okay, and that's the top 10 best 2026 free agents.